Hi friends, it's Jules. Welcome to Jules Reads. I'm Jules. This is what I watched and read this week for week 36 of 2025. I do this in my backyard no matter what in Minnesota. It's 55 degrees right now and it's looking like it's going to be a gorgeous fall autumn day. I have a lot to talk about actually, not necessarily books, more so movies. I did kind of go down a spooky movie marathon week. But for Backyard Creatures this week, the only thing I have to talk about is I felt like I was in the movie The Birds. We had so many, I think they're called cackles, in our backyard, kind of around right there you can see the blue bird bath. It was insane. But that's all I have to report for creatures. I can hear a lot of birds right now. I can hear a squirrel. I can see a squirrel. So lots of that might be happening around me. So you might hear some of those noises. All right, so for the book I finished this week, I finished one, and that was Perfume by Patrick Suskind. And this was published in 1985, and it was published first in German. And this version I have is translated by John E. Woods. It's 296 pages. This story follows Jean-Baptiste. He was born in Paris with no body odor of his own, but he possesses an extraordinary sense of smell, so powerful he can detect the faintest trace of fragrance. He was raised in neglect and cruelty, and he grows into be an outsider. He is obsessed with capturing the essence of scent. And then his fixation deepens when he discovers that the most sublime fragrance comes from young women. So to possess it, he actually becomes a serial killer, murdering virgins and putting their scent to create his perfumes. I'm giving this a 3 stars. When I first started reading it, I actually thought I was going to give it 5 stars, but I just realized I do not like any characters, and I really don't like the main character, which I'm all about reading unlikable characters doing horrible things. That's fine. I like that. Something about him just really disgusted me. So the writing is beautiful. So that's why I actually gave it a 3 star. But for characters, not so much. I just didn't like them. I just wasn't invested in it. And I think also the writing, it got a little boring for me. And it's such a short book. So I'm not sure. Again, it could be the wrong place, wrong time, but it was okay. I don't think I'm going to watch the movie. I was thinking I would watch the movie because at first I thought I was loving the book, but I don't think I'm going to. But I do have it on my Halloween movie list, so maybe I will. Who knows? But 3 stars. It was a good read. A lot of people love it. So if you're into kind of despicable characters, and I think the thing about it too is some people might think it's actually perverse. So the whole really young ladies thing just kind of bothered me, so I wasn't getting on with that. I would not recommend this to very many people. I'm watching a chipmunk right now. We have chipmunks that my husband likes to feed in our backyard. So he is actually running right behind me. You might be able to see him. There he goes. All right, what I'm currently reading is The Briar Club by Kate Quinn. I'm currently reading this on audio. I started it physically, but since this is a book club pick for September, I wanted to get it done faster. We actually are meeting today for book club. We're actually going to see William Kent Kruger, so that will be fun. My first time meeting him. And then, but I wanted to get through it faster, so I switched to audio. Both are great. The audio and the reading it physically are great. The audio is fantastic. I am enjoying it. And we selected this. We always give a theme for the next person to pick a book from. So the theme was, because we are a book club full of imperfect women, it was supposed to be about women together who are imperfect. And this is the perfect book for that. This is about women in a women's only, kind of like a boarding house in DC in the 1950s. And I'm probably a quarter of the way through. And so far we're really, I'm in the Nora chapter, and she is hooking up with a gangster. Her brother's a cop that she has to keep giving money to. And yeah, her family is really dysfunctional. I'm really loving it. It's a quick read, and the audio is keeping my attention. I'm realizing that audiobooks They either have to be like a thriller or suspense to keep my attention. I did actually DNF the Greg Iles The Quiet Game. It was so long. It wasn't that it was a bad book or bad writing, but it was going on forever. And I looked and I saw I had 10 more hours left. I'm like, I'm not enjoying it this much for 10 more hours. And I listen at 1.2 speed. So I did DNF that book. I'm really enjoying this. I will give more of an update next week when I hopefully finish it. Okay, I'm going to refer to my notes here because I'm going to talk about some books and actually it's more, I don't think I have a book. I just have movies and TV that are on my radar that I saw. I didn't realize the His and Her book by Alice Feeney is becoming a TV show. Alice Feeney wrote this book. It came out in 2020. I did read this book on audio and I did like it. I think that's my only Alice Feeney I've ever read. So when I was thinking about the types of audiobooks I should actually be listening to that keep my attention, I was thinking maybe I should read another Alice Feeney. But Netflix has yet to confirm a release date, but most likely it'll be this fall. It stars Tessa Thompson, John Bernthal, and Pablo Schreiber. And then Hamnet, the movie, I just saw the trailer for this week. I did not realize it was becoming a movie. I have not read the book by Maggie O'Farrell, but my husband has, and he said it was just okay, but I think I would like it. So I need to read the book before it comes out. I think it comes out either in November or December. It might be actually Thanksgiving. And it stars Paul Mescal, whom I love from Normal People, and then Jessie Buckley, who I also really love. It's directed by Chloe Zhao, who directed Nomadland. As far as movies and TV I watched this week, well, we're still on a Survivor binge. We are now on season 28. And so then the rest of I think all of the rest of the TV shows, actually it's all movies, were because I'm in my spooky era for about a couple months here. So I first watched Unknown Number on Netflix, which is actually a documentary. Have you guys watched this? You need to watch it so we can talk about it. It is so crazy. It's bonkers. It is a girl, like she's young, like 14, 15, and she is dating this boy, same age, small town. I don't know if it's Ohio or Indiana, somewhere around there. And she's getting text messages, harassing, stalking, bullying messages, and they won't stop. Well, who it ends up being that's doing this to her, and they're sending them to her boyfriend too, is mind-blowing. I don't know. If you watched it, let's talk about it in the comments down below. If you haven't, go watch it and we can talk about it. I can't say too much about it because that was the whole twist in it that I was shocked by. All right, then I watched Cabin in the Woods. This came out in 2011. This is a group of kids. They go to a remote cabin and their fate is controlled by technicians. They're like part of an experiment or a worldwide conspiracy where all the horror movie cliches are revealed to be part of an elaborate sacrifice. It is another bonkers movie. If you're into horror, I would watch it. If you're not, don't watch it. Because there's a couple here that if you're not into horror, I would still suggest you watch it. I did like it. It's not going to be one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I like more of the psychological horror, not necessarily the demons and monsters type of horror, but it was a good time. It was entertaining. And then I watched September 5th, or September 5, which is not, somebody's revving their car for, I'm not sure why. Not sure if you can hear that. Anyway, this is not a horror movie, but it actually is pretty dark and disturbing. This is based on true events. This just came out last year. That took place during the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, Germany. It follows a sports broadcasting team who actually have to shift and become more of a news broadcasting team. And it is follows the tragic events of the Israeli athletes who were being held hostage by a terrorist group. The way it's filmed is really kind of dark and gritty, and you actually have kind of that 1970s feel as you're watching it. So I did really like it. Great acting, superb. So I recommend that one. I did find it free somewhere, I can't remember where, but it was free. And then I did end up watching Stepford Wives from 1975. I found it on Tubi. Thank you. I think it's Terry that's told me about Tubi, which is free. So Tubi, you can just download either on your phone, iPad, TV, and there's free content on there, which is fantastic. So I watched Stepford Wives from 1975 on there. Very good. I'm pretty sure if I rewatched the modern one with Nicole Kidman, this would be way better. It was great. It followed the book very closely, and it gave you that eerie, unsettling feeling very well. Highly recommend that. Okay, I watched Talk to Me. I want to make sure I come back to one that's I want to save for last, but I watched Talk to Me. This came out in 2022. It's an Australian supernatural horror where teens use an embodied hand, and it's like kind of like this, and it just comes down to here, but it's been like cast in ceramic or something, and they use this to conjure spirits at parties. At first they're laughing and it's thrilling, but it ends up being where they're holding on for it too long and the spirits stay with them too long, and it becomes a full-on horror movie, and there's a lot of body horror. I didn't like this one. The acting was really good, actually, but the body horror I can't do. I had to hold up my pillow and look away. It's really intense. So I don't really recommend that one. Jacob's Ladder from 1990. This stars Tim Robbins as a Vietnam War veteran. He is mourning the loss of his son. This is a heavy psychological movie, and there's a major twist at the end. He is haunted by terrifying hallucinations and flashbacks. And then as reality is unraveling around him, things are kind of revealed as to what is actually happening. But it is known for its surreal, nightmarish imagery, which I would agree with that. The visuals are terrifying, but in a good way. The last one I want to talk about is 28 Years Later. This is the next chapter in the 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. And this is directed by Danny Boyle, who directed the original one. And I feel like this is a virus zombie movie at the beginning and the end. And it's like intense, like, ah! And in the middle, it is so beautiful and heartwarming. I don't know that the movie knows what it wanted to be, but I liked it. You start with the father and son on a Scottish island, completely surrounded by water, but this causeway, which is a real thing, which blows my mind, a causeway, when the tide is low, you can walk from the island to the mainland. But if you get stuck on this causeway when the tide comes in, you will drown. So that was fascinating that this actually exists in Scotland. I love Scotland. Actually, I got this hat, I think, in Scotland. But anyway, so you start with that, and the boy is the main character of this movie, and he's getting really good at using the bow and arrow and killing zombies. I don't know if we call them zombies, but they have a virus. And then it becomes super beautiful in the middle because his mom is dying and they don't know why. And he brings her to meet a doctor and he diagnoses her. And so the middle part is just so beautiful and stunning. She ends up, spoiler alert, if you don't want any spoilers, just check out right now. But she ends up delivering a zombie baby that does not have the virus. It's not infected. So that was kind of beautiful in a weird way. But in the end, you end up with another crazy zombie scene. And the way they're filming those kills is just kind of hilarious. So I think intentionally, I really liked it. I'll watch it again. Ralph Fiennes plays the doctor, and he puts iodine all over his body. And so he's like red all over. So he looks crazy. And I just found out there's another sequel coming out, I think in January. So I think they filmed them back to back, which I think Ralph Fiennes is the main character of that. So that will be super fun. So that is all I have for my wrap up for this week. And I do need to pick up another physical book to read. I think I'm going to pick up Mary by Nat Cassidy. I've been wanting to read Nat Cassidy. I actually have 3 of their books and I have not read any. So I want to pick up Mary. I was going to do When the Wolf Comes Home, but I found out Mary is about a woman going through menopause, and I'm past menopause, but I just think I could relate to her maybe. We'll see. All right, that is all I have. What are you guys reading? Are you watching any scary movies, doing any fallish things? I know some of you, where you live, it actually, you don't really feel fall, and it might be still really hot. All right, I will check in with you guys next week. Take care.